The Houston Rockets painfully got bounced in round one of the NBA playoffs. Are they now primed to make a major move out there on the trade market? And are we talking Devin Booker? Are we talking Kevin Durant? Or are they holding on to their trade chips in order to try to chase the big fish, Giannis Antetokounmpo? I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe. Going to be a crazy summer. Hit that subscribe button right now and join us for what's going to be a very eventful offseason, the summer of the trade. What we're calling it. Going to be a busy and fun time around the NBA. All right, let's get into it. So the Houston Rockets, they fall in Game 7 against the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, that loss stings, and now a lot of thought about their roster and what they're going to do from here. They've got a very talented young roster here. They have got a number of pieces. In fact, here, let's just take a look at it before we dive in to everything here. They've got a number of talented young players. You look at, in fact, they reportedly love Reed Shepherd, and he barely even played. But he obviously has a lot of talent. He hasn't even really gotten into the mix yet, truly. Jalen Green, right? We know he's got talent. Not good. He could shoot you into games or shoot you out of games, but very talented, no question. The Rockets still believe in him long-term, just 22 years old. Jabari Smith, is he the 1A guy that maybe the Rockets hoped he would be? No, but he could still be a very nice piece for somebody. Amen Thompson has been absolutely fantastic. His defensive abilities are incredible. He's clearly a building block piece for them. Alperen Sengun is one of my favorite young centers in the NBA. Did Draymond Green push him around a little bit in Game 7? Yeah, a little bit. And I don't think he had a very good Game 7, but still a very talented young player, an exciting young player, still somehow just 22 years old. The future of this team is so bright, and that's where the Rockets have to weigh things. They've got all this young talent. They were so close to being maybe a championship contending team right now this year. So do you cash in some of these young players in an attempt to go win right now? You've also got a pretty good amount of future draft capital. You've got specifically the future of the Phoenix Suns shorted, which is what is so valuable around the NBA, because the belief is that Phoenix is going down in flames. They're going to trade Kevin Durant this summer. So should the Rockets perhaps be the team to trade for KD? This is from The Athletic, from Kelly Iko and Sam Amick earlier today. Said the prospect of landing a player of that ilk presents a fork in the road moment for the Rockets, who are in prime position to upgrade their roster with a bona fide star because of the draft picks and young talent they've collected. But will they take the big swing or not? So let's talk about Kevin Durant first. Durant, seen as the most attainable of that group, he is known to be very interested in playing in Houston. Team sources said the Rockets still have significant reservations about the partnership because of Durant's age, 36, out of sync with their young timeline. I think that's overblown. I think you're making a mistake if you only focus on landing a player that is of a certain age. You go back through NBA history and you look at how many teams have been put together that have had some older players, some younger players mixed together. Sometimes it's the combination of the two, particularly when we start looking at cap management and things like that, but also locker room dynamic. You have to have those guys who have been through the wars before. And if you are the Houston Rockets and you're looking at what your team did in the first round against the Golden State Warriors, it is the team is screaming for a veteran scorer, somebody who can put the ball in the basket in the half court. Their half court offense was disgusting against the Golden State Warriors. This team is begging for a Kevin Durant style player. Now, within reason, of course, and within reason, the Athletic article also notes it's worth noting that previous talks between the teams about Durant were initiated by the Suns. So that's the Suns acting as the seller. Again, widely believed that the Phoenix Suns will try to move on from Kevin Durant. So if you're the Houston Rockets and you can get in on a Phoenix Suns side that knows they have to make moves, you've got their future draft capital, and you can get potentially Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players ever. You can get him to sign for an extension. Players are playing more effectively longer into their careers. I'm not saying you're going to try to keep him for the next 5 years or anything, but the next 2-3 years could very well still be incredible for Kevin Durant, and he could be a guy who could fix your biggest weakness, and that is playing in the half court and not being able to score the basketball. Kevin Durant immediately solves that problem for you and gives you one of the best scorers in the NBA. Offense is bogging down. Cool. Give it to KD because he can get the shot off anytime, anywhere at a high clip. So I think Kevin Durant makes a lot of sense for what the Houston Rockets actually need. Would it be preferable if he was, say, 34 instead of 36, 37? Yeah, of course it would be. But the Phoenix Suns probably aren't trading him in that scenario. So yes, KD, I think would be a good fit for them if they can get the right price on him, if they don't have to go send everything. Now, you still got to send out enough salaries and all of that, but if you can get the right deal on Kevin Durant, I think the Rockets should very seriously consider it. Now, here's the other thing, though, and this is a shock, everybody. This is a shock. For a while, it's been the Houston Rockets are waiting, not for Kevin Durant, they're waiting for Devin Booker. That's why they got all that Phoenix draft capital, is because they believed Devin Booker was going to be their main target with the Suns draft picks. They were going to go to the Suns. They're going to say, hey, you want your future back? Cool. Give us Devin Booker. You guys aren't winning anyway. We'll give you your picks back, and off we go. Now, The Athletic reporting that team sources say that's no longer the case. Not only do officials still have faith in Jalen Green, who is 5 years younger than Booker and $66 million cheaper over the next 3 seasons, but also Booker's struggles last season shifted the thinking. As for Williamson, Zion Williamson, the team believes he is too risky. So Zion Williamson is another player who we projected could be an interesting fit with Houston because they've got so much talent around already that they could withstand the struggles that they would no doubt incur when Zion was out. Again, it's a matter of when, not if. Zion Williamson will be missing time, but the Athletics say, oh, no, they're out on Zion Williamson. But hearing they're also out on Devin Booker, that is a shock because, again, this has been the Rockets' plan for so long. Now, again, this is team sources, and this is where during the offseason we have to read between the lines a little bit. Team sources with the Rockets say that's no longer the case. If you are with the Rockets, does it behoove you? Does it make any sense to put out there that you want Devin Booker? No, that's not going to help your efforts to land him if it becomes public knowledge that, oh, the Rockets really want Devin Booker. In fact, what you want to put out there is that you are very happy, which is exactly what they're doing. What you want to put out there is that you're very happy with the team you've got right now, that you have no incentive, no desire to make moves, because as soon as you're seen as a team that does have desire, does have incentive to make moves, does have an urgency to make moves, guess what? That is going to be used against you as trade leverage. You have to be seen as the team that is reluctant to make a trade, that, oh, no, we really don't want to give up this guy. That only helps your bargaining position. If you are seen as somebody who is a motivated seller, guess what happens to the price? It goes down. So that could be part of this. This all could be spin if we're reading between the lines, because everything that should be coming out of the Houston Rockets, regardless of what they actually believe, is what's coming out of the Houston Rockets right now. It's, we love our team. We're not in any hurry to make a trade. We want to keep these guys. We love Jalen Green, even though he chipped the orange paint off the rim in the first round. No, we still love him. It could all be BS. And again, it could be very appropriate, though, that that's what they're doing. This is what you have to do to play the game. So I don't 100% buy that they're just out on Devin Booker, but I can see where maybe there's a little bit of truth to it. And maybe they say, you know what? Maybe Devin Booker isn't that guy that we thought he was after the way things have gone in Phoenix. I get it. I wouldn't, if I'm the Rockets, I wouldn't look at Phoenix and go, oh yeah, that, sign me up for that. That's what I want. I wouldn't necessarily be saying that either with a guy like Devin Booker. Again, Kevin Durant, I think, is a proven playoff performer. Different situation. He's won championships. He's won finals MVPs. He's won league MVPs. A little bit different situation with Kevin Durant than with Devin Booker. Maybe you just look at Book and say, you know what? He's a great player, but is he the guy for us? Maybe not as much as we once thought he was. But again, nonetheless, even if that's not the way they think, that's what they have to put out there. Now, Giannis, I talked about this a little bit earlier today. I think Giannis, we can question the fit, the shooting, all that kind of stuff around Giannis. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't care. I do not care. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Can he score in the half court as well as Kevin Durant? No, probably not as well as Kevin Durant, of course, because KD can take that pull-up 15-footer anytime he wants. That's not Giannis, but Giannis is a damn freight train. Giannis's ability to get the rim, Giannis's defensive identity fits much better with this Houston Rockets team. I think if they can get Giannis, and it's going to cost them a ton. It will cost them way more than Kevin Durant, who will cost you more than Devin Booker. Giannis will cost you a lot, right? Because 29 teams are making the call on Giannis Antetokounmpo and will be interested in him. But nonetheless, if that is the piece that the Rockets say we need to go get him, this is the dude, yeah, Yeah, look, if you have an opportunity to get him and it costs you a bit more than getting KD, and it should probably cost you a lot more, if it's going to cost you more than Devin Booker, I get it. I get it. This dude is one of the 3 best players in the NBA. I don't think that's even a question. I don't think that is anything you can even challenge. He's one of the all-time greats. Kevin Durant is too. Kevin Durant's an all-time great, but Giannis is 30. Giannis is 30. And so if you've got to give up some significant pieces to go get Giannis and make him a Houston Rocket, maybe you just do it. Maybe you just do it. So here's the other thing. Here's the other thing with all of this. Whether it's the Rockets, whether it's we're talking about the Bucks, whether we're talking about the Spurs, whether we're talking about the Lakers, we're talking about the Knicks, we're talking about who, it doesn't matter what team we're talking about. If Giannis Antetokounmpo is on the market, everybody watch. If Giannis Antetokounmpo is on the market, everything freezes. Everything. The entire NBA offseason will freeze. We saw it happen a few years ago with Kevin Durant. Everything was put on hold while people waited because teams aren't going to want to trade. They're not going to want to give up their assets when the possibility of either getting Giannis or being part of the Giannis trade is still out there. So if Giannis makes his decision, and we are very much expecting this, he wants out of Milwaukee, that's coming. When that happens, if that trade does not come to fruition quickly, whether it's to the Rockets or anywhere else, that could put a hold on the NBA offseason as teams wait to see what happens with the Giannis situation. So I'm excited for this offseason. I'm excited for the summer. I think there's going to be a lot of big moves made. I think teams have a lot of motivation to go make trades. We've got the draft lottery tonight is going to shake things up as well. We've got the Chicago pre-draft combine going on right now. So lots of conversation that's happening right now. You've got all kinds of stuff that's happening around the league. And I think we're going to get a busy summer, but we could see a temporary pause whenever the Giannis trade situation truly heats up. And maybe that's the beginning of July. Maybe it's the last few weeks of June, and then it happens. Maybe it runs all the way into August, and then most of free agency and all of that really takes place in August because everybody's waiting. Some business will still get done, but the Giannis situation, this is a big enough star, big enough name on the market to where it could put a pause on everything for the NBA off season. So something to keep an eye on. But the Houston Rockets, reportedly, not all that interested in Kevin Durant. Look, I get it. I still think if they can get the right deal, you go get KD, right? You do it, especially if Giannis is no-go. But Devin Booker, I understand why maybe they'd be out on him. Why maybe they'd look at it and say, you know what? He's not what we thought that he was. At least enough to give them pause in that situation. That said, Giannis, you're not making the KD trade until you know what's going on with Giannis. You don't make a final decision on Devin Booker if he's even available, which the Phoenix Suns keep telling everybody, no, he's not. I think that's a mistake, but you don't make that decision until you know what's happening with Giannis. It all depends on Giannis. Whether you're Houston or any other team, it's going to hinge upon what happens with Giannis Antetokounmpo. And if I'm the Rockets, after what happened in the first round and seeing the identity the Rockets team already has, the future is very bright. But man, if you can get an MVP in Houston and Giannis, you go do it. You go do it, and you get it done. Everybody, give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you buy that the Houston Rockets are suddenly out on Devin Booker? And what do you think about the future of this very young team? Give me your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe right here to the channel. Until next time, see ya, and stay safe.